Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about the cranial nerves, so let's not waste any of your time. Let's get right to it. Now, when we're talking cranial nerves, what we're talking about is that section within the brain where there are 12 pairs of nerves that come out of the base of the brain, and then they move out to all the areas that they're supposed to, whether they're optic, visual, whatever you're hearing, whatever their associated path is, they get out to that area. Okay, now we're going to be able to see lots of pictures of where they are, and what you're going to want to associate is the name, as far as the number, and what they do in the areas that they control. Now, some of them are going to be sensory, okay, some are going to be motor, and some are going to be both. So those are super important to think about. And you're going to see kind of when as they're going out in the areas that they go through. No cerebellum, okay. No cranial nerves come out of the cerebellum. Almost everywhere else has one, but no cerebellum. Alright, so here is all 12, and you can see the eyeball up front. That's obviously vision, but again, this picture is pretty small, but again, in your textbook and the PowerPoint. But the beauty of it is, and you can see the pawns there, the beauty of it is it shows you computer generated version, but then it shows you a real life version as well, and you can see all these. I mean, you can see the optic nerves going out, and the olfactory tract and all that stuff. So it's a pretty cool. And once we get into the brain, we will look for these as well. Now, when it comes to moving around myself, all right. Number one, cranial nerve number one, the olfactor. And we saw on the previous slide, but anyway, that's obviously nostrils. So it pushes into there, so you can sense the smell, and that's and that also would refer to, or would affect taste as well, since it's a process of that. But olfactory nerve number one, sense of smell. Okay, cranial nerve number two, the optic nerve. I mean, vision is the eyesight of color blindness, or blindness is part of all this. But you can see it stretching from that main core bank out to each eyeball, the optic nerve. And number three, oculomotor. So now we're talking vision, and not so much vision, but it's because that was the number two. This is the one that turns, that moves the eye left and right, up and down, all those things that it's associated with it. But you can see it coming right above the pons there, through there, and moving the eye in whatever manner is needed to make it work. and number 4, the trochlear. We had the oculomotor first, now the trochlear. Now we're going to be moving it, the eyelid itself, closing and opening that stuff. So the closing of the eye. So you get something in there, you just need to close it. That's the trochlear nerve. Number 5, the trigamental nerve. Okay, this is the chewing, biting, opening and closing of the mouth. Is going to be cranial nerve number 5, trigamental nerve. Okay, number 6, Abbekin's nerve. Okay, again, eye movement. Again, controlling the muscles that are part of the eye. So you can see the eye, vision, being able to see, pretty sophisticated to have multiple nerves associated with it. But number 6, eye movement in the lateral, rotate eye or moving in a lateral motion. Okay, number 7, facial nerve. Okay, so not only taste, okay, but the muscles themselves associated with facial expression, salivary glands, nasal palatine glands. A lot going on here with number 7, facial nerve. That's 8, so that's 9, yep. Alright, number 8, I'm sorry. Vestibular nerve. Anytime you see that cochlear word, that's a reference to the hearing. So you can see in there the hammer, anvil, all the stuff associated with that, and the nerve in there to power them all up, and the eardrum, tympanic membrane, that kind of stuff. So that is number 8. Okay, number 9. Number 9, the Glossopharyngeal nerve. So now we're going to talk about swallowing, gagging, salivation, all that stuff. Number 9, Glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, number 10, the vagus nerve. Now this is the one that is, let's see, super important because it controls much of the abdomen area and all that stuff that's in there, all the digestion and all the different cardiac, pulmonary stuff you see. So with the abdominal cavities, it controls a lot of that. So that's the vagus nerve. Okay, number 11, the accessory nerve. That's the one that the two nerves that give me the most trouble is the sciatic one, and then this one, the accessory nerves, especially waking up, neck stiff, but then the associated nerves coming out of this into whatever shoulder. Maybe I was laying on one wrong. I should be on back. That's the best way for me, at least, to sleep. But if I get into a shoulder and I'm slumped too much, and then that nerve is talking to me the rest of, or at least the next morning anyway. But that's number 9. Accessory nerves coming out of there and going down into the upper shoulders, head, neck, shoulder movement, those areas there. Okay, and number 12, tongue, movement, speech, food, swallowing, chewing, all those are stimulated with cranial nerve number 12. Now this screen obviously is pretty small, and I even moved myself, or even covered myself up a little bit there, but let's see if I can't get out there. Yeah, there I am. But anyway, this is a chart that has each of the numbers, has their name, sensory or motor, and then their particular function. And as far as location, probably the best thing to do with that's the 5th column over there, is just pick a general area like mouth, head, hearing or ear, or abdomen. Just pick a general location, not trying to memorize all that stuff. But really the only thing would be focused on is linking the name with the function, okay, or the name with the function in a location, that kind of stuff. So again, wouldn't even try to begin to capture all that. Just the number, name, and brief function, brief location, that kind of stuff. Well, that's our video for cranial nerves, and it also brings us to an end for chapter 14, the brain. So we'll come back in our next time. We'll be talking about the endocrine system. We'll see you then.